You're watching Chicago Bears Now. I've got 5 Bears cut candidates that I believe could be in trouble after OTAs and minicamp have come and gone. So let's explore a fresh list of cut candidates. Number 1, I think a pretty obvious one based on a recent transaction, Stephen Carlson, the tight end. I think on paper he was in line to be that number 3 guy, but it was always lurking out there that Marcedes Lewis could re-sign as this team's number 3 tight end behind Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett. That obviously officially took place on Monday. The report from Jay Glazer on Sunday that Lewis is likely going to re-sign. And that's bad news for Stephen Carlson and I think the other depth tight ends. If I had to guess, I think the Bears carry 3 on their 53-man roster. Top 3 are pretty clear. And then maybe 1 or 2 of these guys makes the practice squad. Stephen Carlson was on the practice squad last year in 2023, so if they want to keep him there, they can do so, but they may opt to go young too. Maybe a guy like Brendan Bates, UDFA, they keep him on the practice squad, so who knows. I know Carlson had a touchdown at minicamp last week, so he's certainly going to continue to fight and compete, but I think that signing, not a great sign for him because there's really no scenario where he's one of your top 3 guys. So to make this roster, the Bears would have to carry 4 tight ends, which they have in the past, and some teams do carry 4. So we'll have to wait and see. If you're excited for Bears training camp to ramp up the competition, all that to be here, type me in the comments down below. I know I'm ready. It's nice to kind of, relax a little bit over the next month and change before training camp, but I'm ready for that to be here because that's when things really get going. So spam me in the comments if you're excited for Bears training camp. Next up is Larry Borom, the offensive lineman who's entering the final year of his rookie contract. I think we mentioned him on a prior cut candidates video, but I think it's worth mentioning here again. While there's still questions on this offensive line, especially center and right guard, what has undoubtedly improved is the depth with guys like Coleman, Shelton, and Bates being here. I think Matt Pryor is an interesting name. He's gotten work with the ones at right guard. He can also play tackle. So I think that versatility from Matt Pryor and the fact that he's getting starting reps over Borom, I thought that was pretty telling at OTAs and at minicamp that he was in there some when Nate Davis was absent because Borom's played some guard in the past too, and he wasn't getting in there. Also, what does that mean for Ja'Tyre Carter? That Pryor was getting some work at guard too. I think what's unfortunate for Borom is he hit a escalator this offseason, which raised his cap hit for this year. That actually probably hurts him in terms of making the team because the Bears can save over $3 million if they cut him, and at best, he's what, your 8th or 9th offensive lineman? So even if there's a guy that's slightly worse than him, they might go with that player for the final offensive lineman because freeing up $3 million for a guy who may never play is pretty significant. So I think Borom's in trouble. I don't think he makes this team, and I think he'll be playing for a different team in 2024. Now, shout out to Mando for sponsoring today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. Baseball season has been underway for a few months, and I'll tell you something. Nobody likes a foul ball, just like no one likes a smelly dude. That's where Mando comes into play. Step up to the plate right now and take your personal hygiene more seriously with the Mando Whole Body Deodorant. This is developed by a doctor. This game-changing formula is safe for your entire body and knocks out odor like a champ. Mando is made with mandelic acid, which picks off odor at the source, keeping you fresh for up to 72 hours. You can get Mando in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. Don't let foul balls ruin your game. Switch to Mando right now and keep that ball in fair territory. I got the invisible cream right here, which I highly recommend. I also recommend the entire starter pack, which you can get, for $5 off at shopmando.com with code CHAT. Code CHAT at shopmando.com. You can get $5 off the starter pack, which essentially equates to 40% off. So go check that out today, shopmando.com. Promo code CHAT. That link and promo code are available in the comments and description of this video, so you don't forget. Get started with Mando. You are not going to regret it, fellas. All right, Dante Pettis, the wide receiver. Our last cut candidates, I opted to go with Velus Jones. I'm going to flip it to Dante Pettis here because I think based on the reports we've heard at Halas Hall, guys who have been at the practices on a daily basis. I think Velus is ahead of Pettis so far. I'm not saying there's a wide gap, but I think he's got the upper hand, and I just get the feeling that one of these guys will be on the team and the other one won't, because you've got your core three, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. There's no scenario where those three guys aren't on the team unless one of them has a season-ending injury. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. Tyler Scott, barring the worst training camp of all time, is going to make the team because they just drafted him last year. So if you're going to carry 5 or 6, I guess if they carry 6 in theory, it could be Velus and Pettis, but those two and Tyler Scott's skill sets overlap quite a bit. It wouldn't shock me if they opted to go with a guy like Colin Johnson, or maybe someone else gets cut on a different team that they decide to poach. Like, there's a lot of different directions this thing could go. So I think Velus is ahead of Pettis right now, has shown some improvements, it would appear. Now, again, he needs to do it in training camp and in preseason, but we'll have to wait and see. Pettis is going to have to significantly outplay Jones, I would say, just because they did invest a third-round pick in Velus a couple of years ago. How many wide receivers do you guys think will make the Bears' 53-man roster? If it's 6, you're feeling better if you're Velus and Pettis. If it's 5, you're pretty concerned, because I think the top 4 are pretty set with Tyler Scott as that 4th guy. So let me know in the comments, 5, 6, maybe you think they go 7. Some teams do. That's a lot. I'd be surprised if it was 7. A couple more cut candidates after minicamp. Travis Homer, who you could save a couple of $1 million by cutting him as well. I think there's 2 primary reasons why Travis Homer could be in trouble. Number 1, I don't think Khalil Herbert's going anywhere. When you got the team tweeting out clips of him catching screen passes and running for big yardage and stuff like that, I just get the feeling he's going to be a part of this team, be a part of this rotation. There was some chatter. Maybe they trade him, try to get something for him since he's in the last year of his rookie deal, make Roschon RB2. That remains to be seen. I think he'll be here. And then 2, UDFA Ian Wheeler, especially in OTAs, he's shown some pop. He can catch the football. He's got return experience. He can play on special teams. Ian Wheeler can, so I think that helps his chances of pushing for a roster spot. Or better yet, you cut Homer, keep Wheeler on the practice squad because a UDFA rookie on the practice squad versus Travis Homer, who's a vet at this point, and you only get so many vets on the practice squad. Like, if it's close, I don't think Wheeler's getting poached by a different team. He can be on your practice squad. If you need to elevate him on an occasional game day, you could certainly do that as well. Last one here, Keith Randolph Jr., the defensive tackle out of Illinois. I was hyping him up after the draft as an undrafted free agent. And look, that could still be the case. He could certainly show out in training camp, but I haven't heard a single thing about him through rookie minicamp, OTAs, or mandatory minicamp. Not one. So that doesn't mean he's been bad. It just means he hasn't flashed, at least to the point where people are reporting on it. So I like the pickup because, A, you need depth there, and, a lot of draft experts had him as like a 6th-round caliber pick, and he went undrafted. So I was like, okay, local kid, Illinois. Bears threw him some guaranteed money, like a couple $100,000. I was like, all right, he has a chance. And he still does, obviously. Training camp hasn't even gotten here yet, but I'm just surprised we haven't heard a peep out of this guy. Like, I expected to be like, oh, Keith Randolph flashed there. Like, none of that has happened. So I think he really needs to pop when the pads go on. Like, we need to see some playmaking from him on the interior of that defensive line at training camp and some plays in the preseason, because if not, reality is he's probably not going to make this team. But I still think that 4th defensive tackle spot is up for grabs, and he's got the opportunity to be that guy. Now, name a player that you don't want cut. Like, someone that you're like, yeah, I know he could be cut, but I personally do not want him cut. Like, maybe you're loyal to Velus Jones. Maybe you want Keith Randolph to make this team, or someone that you're worried could be on the chopping block that you don't want to be on the chopping block. Let me know who that player is in the comments of this video. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to Chicago Bears Now. Training camp's going to be hectic. Roster battles. Guys are going to get cut. The competition's going to be hot and heavy, so prepare yourselves for it and subscribe for more videos.